Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. It is Wednesday morning, and you are listening to the Scout Team with Scout Team Sports. I am one of your gracious hosts, Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
If you say so. And right across the way from me is the greatest patriot I have ever known, Mr. G.I. Joe himself, and that would be...
Yeah, it's Chris America coming to you live this Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. on 12ouncesportsradio.com. We are coming to you louder, beardier, and Americaner as ever.
We are. And today is a special day. Today is September 11th, and I hate to start it off on a somber note, but I just wanted to recognize what this day means to America. This is one of those days that I will never forget, and I'm sure you're the same way, Chris America. This is one of those days where you know where you were, you know what you were thinking about, and you know what was going on this day. And it has been, 17 years? It's unbelievable that was 17 years ago.
And what's also crazy is this was probably the first major U.S. event that happened in our lifetime. And it's odd having kids now. I know I have a 10-year-old. You have teenagers and a 10-year-old, I think. And it's weird talking to them about it because they don't know. Like, they look at September 11th kind of like we look at Pearl Harbor. We have no emotional connection outside of just empathizing what it must have felt like to live during that time. So, yeah, I remember I was in high school. I remember we had a break in between classes because we had 2-hour-long classes. We had 3 2-hour-long classes each day. And so we got a 15 or 10-minute break in between each class. And I was on break, and someone was like, "Hey, did you hear a plane crash into a skyscraper?" And I was like, "No, man, I don't watch the news. I thought he was talking about something that happened earlier in the week or whatever." I was like, "No, man, I don't really watch the news." And then I went into my classroom, and the teacher had it on. I was like, "Oh, my gosh, that's what he was talking about." And then you see the second plane go in, and it was a surreal day. You're right, man. It was just, you felt like you were living in a bad dream.
Oh, yeah, this was one of the worst ever. I was at UCF, college student, very young, not knowing what to do. I saw the first plane go into the building. I was at home. I ended up going into school, and we didn't know what to do, and classes ended up getting canceled. Everybody goes back. You're sitting there glued to the TV like, what is going on? What does this mean for us? What is going on? What is the next attack? And it was scary. And I don't want to bring down our whole show, but it was important for us to at least talk about this for just a moment because this is an extremely important day in the history of America. And I know, like you said, this is one that I will always remember. It was the first major event in my life that I will carry with me the rest of my life, knowing that this was a day in American history that will just go down as being one of the worst of all time, Yeah,
Loudbeard, I'll just wrap it up with this as on a positive. The thing that was amazing to see, and we haven't seen it since, is we were one nation that day. We were one united front. There wasn't any Facebook arguing. There wasn't any Twitter arguing. I mean, obviously those things didn't exist, but it was just one unit, one country, one nation, and it's something that we haven't seen since. And not to get political, but we know where we're at today, how divided we are as a country, and I hope one day we can get back to that part of it. Hopefully it doesn't take a major incident like that again. Hopefully we just find a way. But one of the best uniting things I think we have is sports, man, and our love for sports and our passion for sports. And let's move on to the sports, and hopefully we can all unite that football and baseball is hot right now. It is so hot. almost like Zoolander is hot right now.
It is very hot like Zoolander. And I think I know where you're going to go with this Zoolander reference because I've got a Zoolander story that I had written down that was trending on Twitter that you may have seen. But real quick, I want to give a shout out to some of our fans that are out there listening right now. Ian from Rehab Sports Guys. You can check him out on Twitter at RSG_IAN12OZ. That's right, RSG_IAN12OZ. He is a big fan of the show, and he is listening to us right now on his graveyard shift. So, Ian, thank you for listening. And David Green at meangreen_42, also giving us a listen and shout out on Twitter. You can always hit us up on Twitter at Scout Team Radio or on Facebook or Instagram, but we live tweet during the show. So if you hit us up on Twitter, we will read your tweets out on the air. And Ian, he wants to know if Sam Darnold is for real. So last night we have two good Monday Night Football games. I wouldn't call them great, but they were good games. And one of the big stories coming out of Monday night is, are the Jets for real? Is this offense for real? And is Sam Darnold for real? Chris America, what do you think?
I remember sitting here watching the game thinking, man, the Jets just scored, what did they end up with, 41 or 48 points? I don't remember what their final score was because I turned it off. And thinking, man, people are going to look at the box score and say, oh, Sam Darnold is awesome. He's amazing. Yes, he looked decent. He threw a pick six also. But the Jets scored in every phase of the game. They ran up the score by returning kicks, by returning interceptions, by long runs. Any way possible that you can score in football, the Jets did it on the Lions last night. So the jury's still out, I think, on Sam Darnold. And to David Green, he says he's got major insomnia. 9 out of 10 doctors agree that Scout Team Radio is what you need in your morning to help cure that.
What, to put people asleep?
Yep, that's what we do.
That's terrible. Absolutely
oh, wait,
terrible.
No, I mean, to entertain you while you're
the worst. What are you doing? That's the worst plug I've ever heard in my life.
Oh.
So I will say, I want to argue with you a little bit here because
people do call us the Ambien of sports radio.
Yeah, I've been called the Viagra of sports radio. So
Hi-yo.
I need to have those sound effects up. I want to argue with you a little bit because I think Sam Darnold did show a lot. One, he's one of the youngest starting quarterbacks of all time. Two, he's on a Jets team that had low expectations. They were 5-11 last year, 5-11 the year before. So they have low expectations, and he comes in. He's a young draft pick. He's not the number one draft pick. And he comes on, and the pick six that you mentioned was his first career NFL throw. Okay, I'm going to let that one slide. I'm just going to go ahead and put that away. Other than that, he gave out a good performance. And I want to say that Sam Darnold is for real, that the Jets are for real, and this Jets team is going to be a good team this year. I think I have probably maybe held back a little bit on the Jets because they haven't shown me anything the last couple of years. But I think Sam Darnold is going to be the answer for the Jets. I think Sam Darnold is real and legit, and he could be the man. Now, I'm not always big on USC quarterbacks. They don't usually pan out in the NFL, but this could be the one. He could be the savior. Last night on the telecast, they were giving comparisons to Broadway Joe. Now, I think that's a little hasty. I don't know if I'd rush into calling him the next Broadway Joe, but you never know. And I like him because he's like a Brett Favre, where he's a gunslinger. He's going to make mistakes. You're going to live with those mistakes, but he's also going to do a lot of good. So, yes, I am saying he is for real. Chris America, your jury, they could be a hung jury. I don't give a crap because this guy is for real.
Yeah, and he could be like Broadway Joe in the sense that he had one great game everybody remembers him by, but then does absolutely nothing the rest of his career. So he could be like that, but if I'm hearing you right, Loudbeard, you're going bold prediction, AFC Championship, Cleveland Browns versus New York Jets.
Oh, wow. I didn't think of it that way, but
I think that's what you just said, honestly.
I would not be surprised if that happened because both those teams are just they're awesome, and you anything could happen. So I'm not going that far. I can't do it. I can't say. I'll say one of those teams will make the AFC Championship. I don't know which one, but if the Browns or the Jets make it, to me that's a win in the bold prediction category.
That is true. And we got to talk about the other side of the football. That, of course, is the Detroit Lions. Can you hit me with a idiot sandwich, please, sir? I need one. What are you? Choke it down.
An idiot sandwich.
0-2, straight out the gate, Loudbeard, on these picks that we did, our locks of the week. I had to go these bad teams because I had to get them out of the way, and they bit me in the ass. There's a reason why I wanted to pick them week 1 because I was hoping that they were playing bad enough teams to win, and they both failed me utterly. The Titans lost to the Dolphins, and the Lions looked like one of the worst teams in the NFL. They played great. No, they didn't play great. They played equal to what the Jets were doing. It was 17-17 at one point, and then the Jets just slaughtered them in the third quarter, 31 total points in the third quarter, and Matt Stafford looked awful. I don't know if he had the knee issue or whatever, but he needed to reach in for his inner Aaron Rodgers and try to overcome it, and he couldn't. That's why there is a difference between Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. But enough about them. He was one guy that got overpaid last August. There was another quarterback that got overpaid in Derek Carr, and he didn't look any better than Matt Stafford last night.
Hey, another shout out on Twitter at JLJordan26. Apparently, she's a big Lions fan. I don't think she's liking all this trash you're talking about her Lions. So just throwing it out there. Make sure that you keep the fans happy at Chris America. I said at Chris America. That's what you should have your Twitter handle. Make sure you keep your fans happy. They are getting restless. She's at the gym. She's punching a punching bag with your face on it right now because you're talking bad about her Lions.
No, she should be punching a punching bag with Matt Patricia's face on it. This was his big debut, Monday Night Football. You're at your home stadium. You got to come out better than what you looked. Hopefully he turns it around next week. Maybe it was just a bad week. Sometimes you can just chalk up a bad week to football, and just not a good week for Matt Patricia.
All right, useless stat for you right now, Chris America. New debut coaches that were coaching for the first time on a new team were 0-7 in the NFL this past week.
Yeah, I saw that, and it's not a good start. It's not a good look, and it's not a good start for all these teams that were excited about having a new coach.
So you have Matt Patricia, but on the following game, you were talking about Derek Carr, but his coach also get the big L. So what did you think of this Raiders game?
It wasn't as bad as the score looked, but Derek Carr was as bad as the score looked. He had 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I think the total, like I mentioned, that both Stafford and Carr got big paydays last August. I want to say they both threw 6 interceptions combined on their Monday night debut for this season. It wasn't good, but Goff looked as sharp as ever. Gurley, the dude's a beast. There's nothing more you can say there. And that wide receiving core, man, for the Rams, it just seems like there's no bad receiver on that team.
Yeah, it is. It's not just like one guy that's great. It's 4 guys that are all really, really good. And he can throw the ball around with ease. And with Gurley in the running game, you have to respect the running game at all times. So that opens up the wide receivers. There's not double coverage or anything like that. This is a good, well-oiled machine. And Sean McVay is an amazing offensive mind in the NFL, and I'm just excited to see what this team is going to have in store. And they picked up a lot of offseason defensive players, one of those being Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters ends the game with a pick 6. So when you get these great players off of other teams that you bring them in, sometimes you don't know how they're going to mesh, how they're going to mold. But when they come in and make a huge splash and do something like that, that's when you know that you're moving in the right direction, that you've made the right personnel moves. And the Rams, I think they're going to be just a really great team this year, and they just have so much talent. It's probably the team with the most talent in all of the NFL when you look at the roster from start to finish. And I do believe that when Marcus Peters did that pick 6, he dove in the end zone and did the old beast mode dive into the end zone for his good friend Marshawn Lynch, just to show off a little bit, which, I can appreciate a little bit of that, showing off.
There you go. And if there's a bright spot for the Raiders after last night, it's Jared Cook. 9 receptions, 180 yards, no touchdowns though. He had a kind of like a Julio Jones type performance where he went off, but the team or the offense just couldn't put the football in that rectangle at the end of the field. So a lot of work to be done there if you're a Raiders fan. Hopefully they can turn it around just like the Lions fan. Not a good start for the Lions or the Raiders last night.
Yeah, and the Raiders, too, they came out the first drive of the game. They get the kickoff. They go 75 yards. Beast mode takes it in for a touchdown. And the rest of the game, they only score 6 more points. So they stalled big time. They weren't able to convert where they needed to convert. So missing a big chunk of what they need to do. John Gruden's got to go back and do his motivational coach speak. He's got to be the quarterback whisperer that he is and whisper to Derek Carr, like, stop throwing the ball to the other team, because that whisper might help, because that is great advice, and that's what he needs to do.
Yeah, you always want to throw it to your football team and not the other football team. That's always a good advice. Are you sure you shouldn't be paid $10 million a year to be coaching the Raiders?
I should be paid $10 million a year to be coaching the scout team. That's what I say. So, Chris America, I'm going to segue a little bit here. You were teasing me the other night with a text, and you said, there's this great new thinker or stinker situation going on, and I've been thinking about it, and I've been stinking about it. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this?
Well, why don't you hit me with the drop? I'll just explain it first, and then you can hit me with the drop. I went out into the interwebs on Twitter and found a few takes from the weekend from different, major media celebrities in the sports world that we all love to hate or hate to love. And I'm not going to read you who they are, though. I'm just going to tell you what their take is. That way you don't have any bias and say, oh, that's so-and-so. I can't stand him, so no matter what he says, I'm going to disagree with it. So why don't you hit us with a thinker or stinker? You're going to tell me, does this take...
thinker or the stinker?
Yeah,
you hit you with it.
Yeah, hit me with it. You're going to tell me if this take...
Or the stinker.
If you say hit me with, I'm doing it.
Yeah, all right. So you're going to tell me if this is a thinker, like you like what this person's saying, or if it stinks. All right, let's see. Since we got a mention here from the producer at RSG, Mahomes or Donald, I actually have a hot take or a take for this thinker stinker thing. So the best quote unquote rookie quarterback will easily be Patrick Mahomes. Able to sit for a year under Andy Reid, the kid looks fantastic. Chiefs got their guy for the next 10 years. Hit me with it, Kyle.
The thinker.
I'm hitting you with it.
Or
So that's the last time I'm
stinker.
playing it. Don't worry. This is rough. The problem is Patrick Mahomes looks so good week 1. It's hard to disagree with that. It is still a little premature, and to give a full analysis and say this is what we're going to get. I'm going to have to give that a thinker, though. He looked really great. Andy Reid does good with quarterbacks. He's made guys like Donovan McNabb look like superstars. I think Patrick Mahomes is the real deal for the next 10 years. I'm going to give that the thinker.
All right, so to answer Ian's question from RSG, what do you think? Is it Mahomes or Donald? Which one do you want?
Oh God, you're really making me work hard this morning. I'm gonna say Mahomes. This is with the caveat that I think Darnold is the perfect quarterback for the Jets, and I think he will do great at the Jets. But I think Mahomes fits into that system better. So I got to go a little slight edge to Mahomes.
All right, that take came to you via Twitter by Colin Cowherd. All right, I got my next one. We're talking about Sam Darnold. This one is actually about Sam Darnold. I'll say it again. Sam Darnold was a try-too-hard turnover machine at USC, and first play of his NFL career, pick 6. Too bad, predictable.
I'm going to give that the stinker. I'm high on Sam Darnold. I don't know why. Again, the USC quarterback thing, too many turnovers in the college career. There are a lot of signs pointing to this guy could be a bust. But what I saw on the field last night, I believe in this guy. I think he's going to be the one. So that take is a stinker.
And I think you would have said it was a double stinker because that take was from Skip Bayless, the troll himself, always overreacting to like molecule size instances and making them into this huge deal. All right, the next take. 1 week into the season, Aaron Rodgers is the clubhouse leader for MVP, and everyone else is still on the course.
The answer is yes, that is a thinker, and it's not because Aaron Rodgers did just so great. It's because he is Aaron Rodgers. Before the week 1 started, he was the leader for MVP in my opinion, because he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he shows it every year. The problem is it is week 1. You have to put it on the field for every week. He's already got injury issues. We don't know what that's going to look like. He's up in the air. He's questionable for week 2. If he's not on the field, he's not going to be the MVP. But after week 1, if you put it in a vacuum, I would say yes, we're giving that the thinker. He is the leader by far.
And that was Rich Eisen saying that, so good take by Rich Eisen. I agree with you. That is a thinker. All right, this is the last one. Scott Frost is built for success, and I'm going to tell you he will win multiple national titles at Nebraska. He will be competing for a Big Ten title within 3 years, and he could be the next generation's Nick Saban.
I'm going to give that the stinker because we are anointing him before we've seen really what he can do. Now, what he did at UCF, I applaud him. Scott Frost is the man. He's a great coach. He deserves accolades. But to say that he's going to win multiple national championships and compare him to the best coach in college football right now, a man that is setting records like you would not believe in college coaching, at a program like Nebraska that is just so down and his first game is a loss, I just cannot put that there. I'm going to have to give that one a stinker.
I agree with you. I think it's a little too overzealous by Tim Brando on the Paul Feinbaum show. I think he's going to be really good, but to call him the next generation's Nick Saban is a bit premature. I mean, it could happen. He's a great coach. He definitely has, the tools to become that. But to say he's going to do that after week 1, I think that's a little bit too premature. And
that's what she said.
One thing I find a little bit interesting is I kind of hope he does win like 6 college football playoff national titles and see the media, especially the Big Ten media, change their tune on his UCF national champion and watch them say, oh, but he really has 7 national champions and he beat Nick Saban 6. I bet you that's going to happen.
Well, he'd have to get to 6 first. But
right.
if that were to happen in your hypothetical, magical, mythical world, I would say yes. They would twist it and say, oh, yeah, but he deserves this other one also, even though they don't really want to give the credit to UCF now. If that happened, they would want to prop up Scott Frost because now that he is at Nebraska, Nebraska is one of those old elite schools that lives in the Power 5 that we want to give all this credit to. So now it's okay to say it.
Right. Now I got one that I got to tell you who it is just so you understand the context of the tweet and so you can give me a thinker or stinker on this. This is Des Bryant responding to a fan on Twitter that said, please come back. Please have Kim call Jerry first thing in the morning. I guess Kim is maybe his agent, but it's Des Bryant. His response to that is, nah, I'm okay. I'd rather go somewhere where we're going to showcase my skills for real. If I line up next to Gronk, Hogan, Edelman, I'm for sure getting a one-on-one matchup. Plus, I won't be getting criticized, controlled for expressing my love for the game. Washington is cool as well. Is that a thinker or stinker take by Des Bryant?
Oh, that's definitely a thinker. This is going to be interesting to see where Des Bryant lands. I'm surprised he didn't put Cleveland in that mix. If I were Cleveland, I'd be giving him a call and saying, we're one Des Bryant away from not having a tie, and that is what we would need to do. But on Des Bryant's side, why would you not want to go to Cleveland? You have Tom Brady throwing you the ball. You would have great weapons around you, and they really need some additional wide receivers, a big target in the red zone to complement Gronkowski. That would be huge for New England. So I like what he's doing. He's putting his name out there, kind of getting his name in the mind of Bill Belichick. Not that I think Bill Belichick's checking Twitter, but, it's getting out there. And on the Washington side, I'm a big Redskins fan. If you have AP and Des Bryant, we're like the retirement home for guys that can still play good.
Yeah, and just because I say names wrong all the time and I look like an idiot, I got to say, you said You said he should go to Cleveland where Tom Brady is at. So
Oh,
just wanted
my
to say
bad.
that.
My bad. I
That's
meant
all right.
he should go to New England,
To
where Tom
Foxborough.
Brady is. Yes, he should go to Foxborough. Though he should still go to Cleveland. So New England, Cleveland, and Washington should be the top 3 on his list. Now, you bring up these guys, and I just wanted to talk a little bit more about Cleveland because that's your favorite thing in the whole world to do. But I don't know if you saw this, but the senior vice president of officiating came out and said there was a roughing the passer call on Myles Garrett that should not have been called, and that call led to the next play being a Steelers touchdown. If that call was not made, the Steelers would have been on a 4th down and would not have scored that touchdown, and hence the Browns would have been 1-0 instead of a tie. And I believe that the NFL officiating crew should go back, reevaluate, and go ahead and give the Browns the win. Do you agree?
I agree. If tennis can take away a game, I think football should be able to take away a touchdown. And we're just going to put an asterisk next to their record and say the Cleveland Browns are 1-0.
Yes, 100%. I got you on that, man. We're doing this. 100% Browns 1-0. Woo! No.
Go Browns.
No. Yeah. Okay. We're Browns out. I can't do it anymore. One other thing about that game is Pittsburgh. We talk about Le'Veon Bell holding out, but their running back Connor ends up going in there and running for 2 touchdowns and 135 yards. And I saw this take on Twitter the other day, and I think you were in the conversation. I don't remember who it was that started it, but
I think it
is
was Vegas
Pittsburgh-
Squares.
Yeah, was Pittsburgh more of a system that is good for running backs? Because everybody that goes in there, D'Angelo Williams, Le'Veon Bell, James Conner, they can kind of plug and play anybody into that system, and they go off. So is it a system, or is Bell that good?
Yes, it's a little bit of both. You saw D'Angelo Williams have like a couple of good weeks, but then he fell off. We'll see if this Connor guy can continue it on. He's a lot younger than Williams, so I think they can kind of continue on. But that doesn't take away from what Le'Veon Bell can do for you, and it doesn't take away the type of player that Le'Veon Bell is. I'm so tired of hearing like, oh, this guy's a system guy, this guy's a system guy. Almost every player in the NFL is a system player. You have your unique skill set, you have your strengths, you have your weaknesses, and it's up to the coach to put you in a system that helps you succeed. You're not going to run Tom Brady and Cam Newton in the same offense. It's just not going to work. I don't care how good Tom Brady is. He's not going to be able to run a read option. He's not going to be able to scramble out of the pocket and get you 10 yards on a naked bootleg. It's just not going to happen. And Cam Newton's not going to be able to sit in the pocket like Tom Brady does at an elite level and pick apart the defense. It's the same with running backs. You need to put them in a system that will help them succeed. Take Todd Gurley, for instance. Todd Gurley was a ghost his second year under Jeff Fisher. Complete ghost. Jeff Fisher's offensive system was garbage, and an elite running back like Todd Gurley could do nothing inside of it. Then you plug in which one of your Washington Redskins offensive coordinators went down there? I can't ever keep track of them all. Is it
Sean McVay.
McVay. So McVay goes down there, and I remember listening to him on the Rich Eisen show say, I'm going to do what is best for Todd Gurley to help him succeed. The plays we're going to call are going to be towards his strengths. And that's what I love to hear from a coach. And that's what he did. Todd Gurley became the beast that we knew him from his first season, and he's excelled. And last night, he picked up where he left off in McVay's offense. So the answer to your question, the long-winded answer is, yes, his system is good, but yes, Le'Veon Bell is also that great.
Yes. That's the answer. I like it. You know, you're right. System and player makes a difference. You're comparing Sean McVay. Sean McVay is doing everything right in I was going to say St. Louis, in L.A. I should say St. Louis. Why did they ever leave? Who goes to L.A.? Nobody cares about
Nobody
football
cares
in
about
L.A.
it. The
Why
weather
is that
there
a
is
thing?
terrible.
It is terrible. So on the flip side, we're going to do a little trending on Twitter segment. But before we do that, I had one story that popped out at me. This is about a college football player. I don't know if you saw this story or not, Chris America, but man, this was pretty out there. I feel for the kid, I really do. But Central Oklahoma defensive back Derek Lockadent he had his foot severed off when he was reportedly crawling underneath a train. As he was crawling underneath a train, the train started moving and his foot got, I guess, smushed between the rail and the wheel of the train. But the good news is he's expected to be okay. He was able to call for help. Somebody was close enough nearby to call the ambulance and get him some help. But Central Oklahoma defensive back, he gets his foot severed in just a horrific accident, and this happened Sunday. And I don't know why somebody would be crawling underneath a train. I don't know if there was a good reason for that. Like, were they playing kickball and then the ball rolled under the train and he's like, hold on, guys, I'm going to go under and get it real quick, and then the train started rolling? Or if what the situation was, I don't want to make light of it, but horrific accident. I'm sorry to hear that for that guy. On the flip side, we're going to do trending stories on Twitter, and we're going to have some upbeat stories, I promise. I went a little too deep on this one. All right, Chris America, see you in a couple.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. "12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst."
Oh, guess who it is? Did you know the station had a janitor? Oh yeah, the Jefe, otherwise known as Beck. And it's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce sports radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce sports radio.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-ounce sports radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb. Do you own a small business? Are you looking for solutions to all of your communications problems and challenges that you have? Check out Ring Central. Give them a call. They have partnered with 12ozsportsradio.com to give you the best rates on all of your business and office solutions for communication. Give them a call today. We have a dedicated line for all of the 12-ounce sports radio listeners. It is 1-877-779-3860. You will get a representative on the phone who will help you with all of your small business communications needs. Once again, give them a call today. 1-877-779-3860. Welcome back, listeners. We are glad to be back. We are the Scout Team. We are coming at you with Scout Team Sports each and every morning on 12-ounce Sports Radio. You can always hit us up on social media at Scout Team Radio on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We are glad everybody is listening in. We are glad to be here. If you want to catch any of our old episodes, you can hit them up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or on our website, scoutteamradio.com. And if you want to go golfing this weekend, make sure you book like a pro. Go to the website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the link that says Book Like a Pro. We give you discounted tee times at all the golf courses in the area. And with that being said, I'm going to hand the mic back over to my good friend Chris America. Chris America, I'm handing the mic to you, sir.
Yes, thank you. So yesterday we put out a poll out there due to the results of Sunday night's game. What
Did
is
you
Mark
say doo-doo?
Doo-doo, yeah. What is Mark Davis's biggest regret waking up this morning, allowing Mac to be traded, or his haircut? Loudbeard, what did you vote?
Haircut.
Yeah, I voted haircut as well, and the majority of people agreed. 910 votes in that poll. 59% of those 910 people say haircut. Dude, you're a wealthy guy. You own an NFL team. Get an actual barber. Stop bowl cutting your head, man.
I think of Dumb and Dumber every time I see him. I could just see like an actual like bowl being placed on his head and just like the scissors going around and him getting that perfect bowl like cut. I mean, this guy, got to be the worst haircut in all of the NFL, 100%.
If not all of celebrity
Yeah.
stardom.
Or the world. Worst haircut in the world. Probably tops on that. Worst haircut in the world. You know who had a really nice haircut when he was in high school?
Who's that?
Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch. I don't know if you saw this right now, trending on Twitter. There was, on the telecast last night, during the Monday Night Football game, there is a picture of Marshawn Lynch that was shown. They showed Marshawn Lynch sitting on the bench. He looked all grumpy. You know, he's got his beard growing out. He's got the dreadlocks. He looks like he's the hard Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. And then they showed a picture of him in high school. He was real clean cut, fully shaved, real nice haircut, real clean cut, glasses, and he had this huge smile on his face. And he's wearing like a plaid shirt or something. It was just one of those things now that Twitter has gotten a hold of it. We've got the Urkel references going out like crazy. I saw one tweet that said, this guy looks like he's walking into class saying, I'm ready to beast code. So he's a coder, like just all over the place with this guy. But if you did not see this picture, check it out. Marshawn Lynch was a nerd in high school, apparently, because this is where we're going. And now he's hard Marshawn Lynch, and I don't think anybody's buying it. I feel like maybe it's more of an act. Maybe he's not as hard as we thought. But, I mean, he grew up in Oakland. Oakland's a pretty hard city. But this picture, making it out, Marshawn, nerd beast mode is where we're going with that.
Yeah, I'm seeing it right now. The only person who has like a very big drastic change from high school to now is Kid Rock. Have you ever seen Kid Rock's old pictures from before he was famous?
I have not. No.
He basically was a Vanilla Ice wannabe, and it's hilarious. You should look up Kid Rock's old photos. Yeah, high school photos are not kind to most people. They do one of two things. You either look better now than you did, so they're like, everybody's like, wow, you look like a nerd, or you looked really good in high school, and now people are like, dude, what happened?
Yeah, it's never good going back. Never good to go back and look, because you never know what you're going to get out of that.
Yeah, I'd rather do the one where I looked bad in high school and people think I look much better now. So,
all right, so next trending on Twitter topic is Mitch Trubisky, or Mitchell, sorry, I got to make sure I say his name correctly. I don't want him to get mad at me. Is Mitchell Trubisky the Derek Zoolander of the NFL? So apparently, Mitchell Trubisky has a problem throwing the ball to the left. In the game the other night, he only had one pass to the left, and it was just a short little dink and dunk pass to Cohen, his running back. And when you look at his career, or I guess 2017 numbers, his completion percentage to the left is only 37%, where when he goes to the middle or to the right, 62%. So is Mitchell Trubisky the Derek Zoolander of the NFL?
Hey guys, it's me, Anthony, your male aficionado here. Just wanted to come in and say, yes, he is the Derek Zoolander of the NFL. And ladies, you have to look up his picture. He is to die for. Oh, man, does he get my goose cooked, my engine revved? Oh, I'm losing it here, Kyle. Have you ever seen this man's picture? He is a hottie.
I don't know what to say right now. You're making me very uncomfortable, Anthony's inner male aficionado.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to move on from that.
I agree, though, man. Like, look at this guy. He's a stud. He's easy on the eyes. If he can't turn left or roll out to the left or throw left, yes, he's got the looks and the whole left. He's a ambi turner. He's not an ambi turner. That's what it is. Thing going on. Yeah, he's definitely the Derek Zoolander of the NFL.
All right, so the next story, allegedly on Twitter, I am finding out that there is a Louisiana mayor. His name is Ben Zahn, and he has approved I guess it was a memo that came out that he sent out, and it is creating the prohibition of Nike products in Kenner, Louisiana. Not that you can't wear it, but you can't sell it. So for all the businesses that sell Nike, he's creating a prohibition. Now, this is alleged. I have not been able to get the Scout Team Bureau of Investigation to get down to the bottom of this. But is this ridiculous, Chris America?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think we all agree with that. We're going to move on. So UCF, my alma mater, ranked number 10 as the most innovative schools over Duke, Harvard, and Princeton. Not only are we national champions, but we're smart, too. What do you give that a thumbs up, Chris America?
Any national championship that is claimed, I give a thumbs up.
All right. So the next story trending on Twitter is the Philadelphia Union, the MLS team for Philadelphia. They debut their new mascot. So the mascot is a snake. So they're like, okay, we're going to show everybody our new mascot. So the snake has arms and legs, which really doesn't make it a snake. So how do you have a snake with arms and legs? Is this really a snake, or is it more like an iguana or a gecko? Can you have a snake with arms and legs as a mascot, Chris America?
No, everybody knows that God cursed snakes to not have arms and legs. I don't even understand what a snake has to do with a team called the Philadelphia Union. Are they trying to? Is this going back to the whole "don't tread on me" thing? I really don't understand what's going on with this.
I really have no idea. Also, I believe it could be. I can't say anything. I really think they should have had like a Liberty Bell as a mascot, which maybe that would be lame too, but at least that could be kind of fun.
I mean, it could be a female mascot. They could call her Belle. Maybe just have Belle from Beauty and the Beast as your mascot.
Well, there also was the Liberty Bell from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling on Netflix. She could come out and be the actual mascot for the Philadelphia Union. I would be okay with that.
I would be okay with that too, or a greased up light pole.
Yeah, I would be okay with that too, because that is the symbol of Philadelphia.
It is.
When you
more
think
than
of
the Liberty
Philadelphia
Bell.
sports, you think of, the city, you think of the Bell, the Liberty Bell, I think is the number one, or you think of Ben Franklin. But when you think of Philadelphia sports, you either got a man throwing a snowball at Santa Claus, or you got greased up light poles. That's what you think of when you think of sports in Philadelphia.
What about a greased up light pole dressed as Santa?
Bingo, you've got it. Cha-ching.
Bingo lollipop.
That's the one. All right, last story trending on Twitter. There is an O-line coach from Jonesboro, Georgia, who honors all of his players on his offensive line that go out there and give a pancake block. So every time they go out and give a pancake block, they come back to the sidelines, and he gives them a shot of maple syrup for their pancake. You love it or hate it, man?
I love it, love it, love it.
So it makes me think of Super Troopers, where you have the pancake syrup chugging contest.
Yes.
Imagine taking a shot of syrup and then going into the game. It probably gives them a sugar rush. I'm sure all of these guys are crashing after the game, but it's not a bad idea. And if they're offensive linemen, they love some pancakes and syrup. They're all about this. This is one of the greatest motivational coaches I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, anything that reminds you of Super Troopers is what's right with the world, what is right with America. And when I watched that chugging scene of the pancake syrup, I honestly hope that it took 15 takes and that it's real syrup, because that would be beast mode right there to chug like 15 bottles of syrup.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So, hey, we're getting a lot of interaction here on Twitter this morning. Again, I want to thank Ian over at Rehab Sports Guys, but he wanted to ask me, Loudbeard, if I miss Kyle Shanahan. The answer is yes. I miss Kyle Shanahan. I miss Sean McVay. It does not mean I do not like Jay Gruden. It just means that I think that these are great offensive minds that could be helping the Redskins right now. But watch out. Redskins are going to have a big year. I know Ian is a Cowboys fan, so I'm sure him and I could go back and forth about 100 times, but we'll stay off of that.
Now, Loudbeard, if I could give you a time machine, go back in time and the power to fire Jay Gruden and hire either McVay or Shanahan, would you do it?
Oh, so if I had to hire one as the head coach, Sean McVay.
No. First of all, would you fire Jay Gruden for either one of them?
Now you're making it difficult.
I am.
So right now, I would take Sean McVay over Jay Gruden. I love Jay Gruden, but I think Sean McVay long-term is going to be one of the best coaches in the NFL. Better than Kyle Shanahan, though I think Kyle Shanahan will be good. Better than Jay Gruden. I think Jay Gruden's good. But long-term, Sean McVay, he's very young. He's got an exciting offense, and I think he is a great coach in the future of the NFL. I would take Sean McVay. I would fire Jay Gruden if I knew Sean McVay would sign on long-term, and I'd love to see what Sean McVay could do.
Yeah, right now we have a youth movement going on in college football and the NFL as far as coaches go, and I'm very, very excited for the next 20 or 30 years of both sports, because we've had nothing but Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. Not that I'm against those guys or hate those guys, but I'm like you most of the time, Loudbeard. I want to see something new. I want to see something different. I'm ready for those guys to kind of, go off into the sunset and let a new group of guys come in, and let's see what happens.
Yep, I'm with you, man. 100% with you. Oh, and on our old debate, we did have another Twitter guest live tweeting at us. We appreciate the live tweet. Chase Gage, he's thrown out that Mahomes has more weapons and a more established offense. So he's saying Mahomes is the better choice than Darnold. Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon, so we'll keep going with that. And back in time, Ian from Rehab Sports Guys, he's asking if I would keep Norv Turner if I went back in time. I'll give that a solid maybe. You never know. Norv Turner's been around the block. He's a great offensive coach, but he's never really brought anybody to a championship. So maybe that was okay. Moving on. All right, Chris America, sorry. Twitter it sucks me in. You get involved. You get people interacting. Our fans, they love to hear what we have to say. Thank you for everybody. If you hit us up at Scout Team Radio on Twitter, we like to talk about what is going on in the world of sports. And if you hit us up while we're on our live show, we will read your tweets on air as long as they are appropriate. If they are inappropriate, we may also read them. Just saying.
We will read them on our Wednesday night show, which happens on at 7:30 at Scout Team After Dark. Make sure you keep all of your inappropriate tweets for then. We are very inappropriate guys, but we try to keep it kid-friendly. The little ears are in the car right now in the morning as you're driving them to school, to go off to work and everything. So we'd like to keep it appropriate during the the Monday through Friday mornings. Wednesday night, though, hit us up there. And yes, we do appreciate all of our fans. We do not get on the air just to talk. We get on the air to entertain you guys. We want a show that's fun. We want a show that's interactive. We wanted something different from what we listen to all the time on Sports Talk Radio. Kyle and I, or Loudbeard and I, we can talk sports with each other, at the bar all the time. But we want to entertain. We want to chase this dream of being on the radio, on the air, and giving sports fans a little something unique and a little something different. So we appreciate everyone that's listening right now and everybody that's interacting with us on Twitter.
I agree 100%. Hey, we haven't talked a whole lot about baseball on our show, and I have one quick story, and then I know you had a few things you wanted to talk about. So real quick, Justin Verlander, he goes back home. He's pitching in Detroit for the Houston Astros. He was a great pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. I almost said Lions. Detroit Tigers. And he goes back there, and the fans give him just an incredible welcome. There was signs up everywhere. We love you, Justin. You're always going to be a Tiger. They had on the Jumbotron. They were giving him tons of love. Justin Verlander got moved to tears. And I just wanted to say that is what fans should be doing. Appreciate the guys that are there with you. Appreciate what they're doing. Justin Verlander gave the Detroit Tigers some great years, and I love seeing these good sports stories where fans are doing the right thing, not throwing snowballs at Santa, not booing number 1 draft picks. They're going in there and they're saying, Justin, I know you left and went to the Astros. I know you won a championship with them. It does not matter because we love you and we appreciate what you did for our city.
I agree with that, and I wish more fans would understand the business of sports and stop taking every single thing so personal, especially since fans' loyalty is only a one-way street. Most fans want the player to be loyal, want the coach to be loyal, but the second the coach or the player go bad, nobody in their fandom is going to say, yeah, but he was a really good coach, so let's stick by him. Let's let him keep his job, and let's be loyal to him until he decides to retire. No, it's you're a bad coach, you're a bad player, get off my team. We need to bring somebody else in. So I agree. I think the Detroit fans showed a lot of class in that instance. Coming back home to Florida, I know I love to bring up the Florida Gators every chance I get. I see Mississippi State fans hate on Dan Mullen all the time, and I'm like, the guy gave you 9 years of his life. He changed around the Mississippi State program. Everybody views Mississippi State differently. You were a cellar dweller for more years than not in your history. Appreciate what Dan Mullen has done. Understand why he made the move, and be happy with the coach you have. So I agree with you, Kyle. Let's move on really quick before the end of the show. Did you see the Milwaukee Brewers versus Cubs game last night?
I did not particularly watch it because there was football on, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either because, number one, there was football on, and number two, we don't get those games here in Orlando, Florida. But the last time we talked about this race, the Brewers were back 4 games. It is now a 1-game lead for the Cubs. The Milwaukee Brewers are not going away. They beat the Cubs last night to bring it within 1 game. This is the only race, that and the Colorado Rockies and the LA Dodgers, that are just razor thin right now. The Dodgers are a 1.5 game back on the Colorado Rockies. This is where you're gonna have to look for your postseason or your September division races, because everywhere else, Boston's still got an 8-game lead. Cleveland's got a 15-game lead. Houston and Oakland. Houston is on fire right now, and they got a comfortable 3-game lead, and Atlanta has a 5-game lead. So you're really just gonna have to turn to the NL Central and the NL West for your division race hunger, because that is where it's at. If you were to choose between the Dodgers or Milwaukee, which team is catching the divisional leader?
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I like what Milwaukee's doing. I really do. I like what Milwaukee's doing. I think they have the best shot. David Green just tweeted in, do you guys think the Rays have a shot? They got a series against Oakland. If they can sweep Oakland, maybe they can make it interesting.
No, because they would have to get the wild card spot. They are 18.5 games back from Boston. There's no way they're catching them. New York has, if I'm looking at this right, I think a 10.5 game lead on the Rays. But what stinks about divisional automatic bids is Tampa is 79-64. Cleveland Indians is 81-63. It seems kind of unfair that if Tampa Bay has a better record than the Cleveland Indians, that Tampa stays home and Cleveland gets to go on, especially since Cleveland's division is trash. Cleveland has a 2-game lead or a 1.5 game lead on Tampa Bay as far as record goes. But Tampa has to play the 2 best teams probably in baseball right now all the time, since they're in the Yankees and Boston Red Sox division, where Cleveland gets to play Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago, and Kansas City, all of which have losing records right now. They're well below 500. They're not even close. So to go back to the whole college football argument, Cleveland, where's your strength of schedule at? You wouldn't be in this if this was college football.
And we all know college football system sucks, so let's not even go there. But I'm with you. The Rays, they're playing really great for the minimal amount of talent that they have. I mean, they're the farm system for these bigger programs, and they still every year bring it. So, man, I'm just glad to see that they're competitive, but it's too much. You're going up against 2 juggernauts, Yankees, Red Sox, on a regular basis. I don't know if they have what it takes to get in there, but if they did, I'd be all for it, man. I would be all for it.
Yeah, the Yankees definitely have the wild card spot on lock. They would have to have a ginormous meltdown for the next couple of weeks in order to lose that wild card spot. But even if they do, or they could catch Boston, which I don't think they will either, Boston would have to have a major meltdown as well in order for the Yankees to catch them in the divisional race. But Boston or Yankees, it doesn't matter which of those two teams, they're going to be in the playoffs. They're locked in.
And we're getting up to the end of the show here, so we're going to finish it. But Chris America, I'm going to lead us out with just a little sound clip here. Just to remember, less than 1 month from now, Romper Bet 2.0 is on. Loudbeard versus Chris America. Loudbeard is going Team McGregor. Chris America going Team Khabib. Less than 1 month away. Everybody, thank you so much for listening in. It has been a great show.
Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Conor McGregor is one of those fights.
Chris
where
America's
the
going to
moment
get
it gets
beat
announced,
down.
you get
Romper Bet
goosebumps.
2.0.
Hands start sweating.
Yeah, man, I'm nervous about this one. I might
Here we go.
have to get my romper size.
Khabib
You better get
Nurmagomedov,
that ready. It's going to be.
26-0.
I'm excited to
Conor
see McGregor back.
He's going to be
He's a legend.
Unbelievable confidence.
Unbelievable
They're two of
confidence.
the very best mixed martial
I
arts
agree with all
fighters
of that.
that have ever lived. It is the biggest fight in the history of the UFC.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it's going to be a big fight. I
right,
think
man.
this is the biggest romper bet in Scout Team Radio history.
Yeah. I don't know. That Mayweather McGregor Romper Bet. That was pretty sick.
Yeah, man. It's
Maybe
pretty
next
sick.
time.
Maybe
That's
next, but this
okay.
one's going to be
Hey,
closer. This one's going to be
I
a
look
closer
good in
fight.
a romper.
You do.